Hi everyone, thank you for joining us for this week's Let's Get Technical. Today we'll be talking about Adobe Spark, a powerful tool for creating creative graphics. With Adobe Spark, you can create a variety of designs, from posters to web pages. For this session, I'll be using it to make some social media posts. Also, please remember if you don't own Adobe Spark at home, you're more than welcome to use it at the Meaford Public Library once we have reopened to the public. The library has access to Adobe Spark and all the other apps included in Adobe Creative Cloud due to the generous donation from the Rotary Club of Meaford, so a big thank you to them. We'll start by opening Adobe Creative Cloud, and you can see here that Adobe Spark isn't actually listed. And that's because it's located underneath Web. So we'll click that, and then we can open Spark. And that means Spark's actually going to launch through our web browser. So in this case, it's Google Chrome. Now here is the Spark interface. I'm just going to close that, and then we can start by making a Facebook post. Now we have a blank project. To begin, let's give our project a name. I'm just going to call it Book Club because for the purposes of this tutorial, I'm going to make a Facebook post for a non-existent book club. On the left is a list of different templates you can use for your project. These templates can help provide you with a good place to start if you're unsure. You can even search for different templates based on topic. Let's check out the templates for book clubs. You can click the arrow to see more templates as well, and when you find one that you like, you just simply click on it and it will add the template to your project. In this case, I'm going to create a project from scratch, just to give you an idea on how to use the different features of Adobe Spark. First, let's add a background. To add a background, simply click the background icon on the left and then scroll until you find one you like. This one seems nice, so I'll just click to add it to the project. I'm going to zoom out just to get a better look, and to do that, simply just click the magnifying glass at the bottom with the subtract icon inside. To zoom in, click the magnifying glass next to it with the plus sign. To pan around the object, hold the spacebar and then just click and drag. You can see the picture doesn't actually fill the background. To make it fit the background, you can rotate it and increase the size, or you can simply click Add to Background on the right here. Now it's filled the background. You can click and drag to move it, and while it's okay, it may be too much for the background we want, so let's find another. I like this image, so we just click it to add it. Once again, it hasn't been added to the background, so to add it, we just select the Add to Background button again. Now you can see that it's added to the background, but as a second image, in a collage. If you want a collage, you can resize the images by clicking and dragging this divider. However, to remove one image, click the image, then select Delete. Delete Cell will remove both the image and the cell. It will remove the entire box and its content. There we go, there's our background. You can also click and drag to reposition it. Next, we're going to add text. Click on the left here where it says text. There's a variety of different template ideas for text for you to choose from. I'll choose this one. Unlike some other photo editing apps, clicking and dragging doesn't actually add the text to the project. Instead, to add the text, I simply just click it once. Click and drag the rectangle outline to make the text bigger. Double-click on it to change the text. I'm going to change this to Meaford Public Library. Now I'm going to change this text to Book Club. Now I can see a little bit of a problem of the text being a bit too close together, so I just want to rotate Book Club so it isn't angled to this other text. However, if I rotate it now, it's rotating everything. So let's just undo those rotations and put it back to what it was. The reason it's rotating everything is because all these elements are grouped together. So to fix that, I'm just going to ungroup them, and now I'm going to select the Book Club text. Now I can rotate it. Next, I want to change the sunset. So we'll click the icon, and then we're going to select Replace. You can see here we're now in the icon section. Let's change it to a book. We're just going to find a book that we like, and then I'm going to click it to automatically replace the icon. Now let's just change the color of the icon. We can change the color here, and we can either click and drag to create a custom color, or we can select a preset located under where it says More. So I'm going to select the color white. Now let's just make it a bit bigger and center it. We can even alter the text a bit more. We can add a shape around it, and we can even select Mask Text here, so it cuts out the text from the shape. Let's also add a shadow. I'm going to change the shadow color to black. Let's just zoom in so you can see it a bit better. And you can also add an outline. But I think for this design, we're just going to remove everything except for the shadow effect. The shape of the text can be changed as well. I can select this box and change it to a circle, a semicircle, an inverted semicircle, or different types of grids that are aligned differently. I can also make it so that every letter is capitalized. I'm just going to go back to what I had by clicking the center alignment icon. Now let's just make the text bigger, and we're going to center it so it fits better on the background. Now I'm going to add some descriptive text, so let's just say more books, more discussion. You can see how it's already made the text to match the same style as the other text. If you wanted, you could change the text font by clicking on this drop-down menu here and selecting the font you prefer. Let's just remove the shadow and change the spacing. Maybe it'll look better if we capitalize it as well. I'm just going to make a few more adjustments and make sure everything is centered. Now let's add our logo. I already have the Meaford Public Library logo saved, so I'm just going to click it, and now it's going to add it to the project in the bottom right. I'm just going to reposition it so it's centered. And there we go. There's the basics for making a social media post. We can also add more things such as design assets. Let's look at the brush assets here. There's nothing here that really matches a theme, so let's go back and check out illustrations. You can see there's different subcategories. Let's look at geometric. Let's go to black and white. We'll just add a couple circles, click to add, and then we're going to click on the shapes to reposition. We can click and drag to resize. But please note, you can't actually alter the colors of these illustrations though. If you want to alter the color of, say, a shape like a circle, what you need to use is an icon instead of a design asset. Now let's add a book illustration. I can look for book illustrations by typing in the search bar. Let's select this one. It's been added, but the problem is it's now blocking the text. So let's move it behind the text by selecting Layer Order, and then we're going to keep clicking Move Down until it's behind the text. So that's how you add design assets. For now, I'm just going to delete them, but you can play around with that when making your own graphics. Now, say you want to switch your project to an Instagram post, simply select Resize on the right here, then scroll until you see Instagram. Now click it and you can see it automatically resizes your document. I'm going to undo that because it actually resized the text a bit odd, so I'll just click undo at the top here. And now what I'm actually going to do is click and drag to select all the elements, then I'm going to group them together before I resize. Now let's hit resize again, and there we go. It maintains the aspect ratio of the text a bit better. Let's just make a few adjustments. I'm going to make it a bit bigger and center. So you can see it automatically resizes to whatever type of graphic you need. This saves you from having to recreate the designs over and over. Instead, you can just create one design and then just keep resizing it. We can also change the background to be an image. So we're going to select Photos and then Adobe Stock. Let's search for books and scroll until we find an image that we like. This image looks good, so I'm just going to click it and then add it to the background. It's going to add it as a second image again, so I'm going to click the first image and then just hit delete. Now we have our new background. Well, now the text is a bit hard to see, so what I'm going to do is add an icon. I select the icon category from the menu on the left. I'm going to make this icon a square. Now the thing is, if we use the design asset here, I wouldn't be able to change the color. So by using an icon, I can adjust the color as needed. I click the square icon once to add it to my project. I accidentally made two icons, so I'm just going to delete the one. Now I'll click on it and change the color. Let's make it white. I'm just going to reposition it and make it a bit bigger and centered. Now I'm going to move it to the bottom layer, so the text is on top. Simply select Layers from the floating menu bar located here, and then click Move to Bottom. Now I'm going to change all the text and the icon to the black color, so it's visible. If you click the white square, you can actually change the opacity. So let's change the transparency so the background and the text show well. You just click and drag here to change the transparency. You can even add animation of the text. On the right here, you just click where it says animation, and you can select, say, a typewriter style. And now the text is animated. You can also select design on the right here to get more ideas. And there we go. I think we're done. Let's just zoom out and double check everything looks okay. Now we can download it by clicking the download button on the top right. Before we download it, we can select what type of format we would like, and then we hit download. There we go. There's our Instagram image. Now, one problem though that I can see is that we haven't actually licensed the stock image. So there's a watermark and an ID number. I need to license this image to remove that. To do that, we're just going to go back to Spark, and what I want to find is this ID number here. I'm just going to write that number down, so when we go to Adobe Stock, it's a bit easier to find that image. So let's just go to Creative Cloud, and then we click on Adobe Stock. Now I'm going to type that number in that I just wrote down, and there's the image. Now I'm going to select License by clicking this button. The Meaford Public Library actually has access to 750 Adobe Stock assets per month that you can access if you use Adobe Creative Cloud from the library. Let's go back to Adobe Spark. So the image still has the watermark and the photo ID. So we're going to select Photos in the left menu bar once again. And now I'm going to go to Licensed Images. You can see the picture has been licensed. We're going to click it to add it. And now we can see that the watermark is gone. Let's just re-download it. And ta-da! Now we finished our Instagram post. And that's it. Thank you for joining us as we learned a bit about Adobe Spark, and I hope you've learned something new today. Next week's session will be about Adobe Lightroom, and I hope you have a great week and take care.